Welcome to Black People Love Paramore, a podcast where I explore the common and uncommon interests of Black people in order to help us feel seen. Please rate us and write us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, 5 stars only because we are 5-star bitches. We're Gio Gotti. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, and all of that. I'm your host, Sequoia, and joining me today to chat about Warped Tour, we have music executive over at Shoobs and founder of Measure of the Music Conference, Christine Osazuwa.
Great to be here. Super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. You are the perfect guest for this. It's going to be very fun. Looking forward to this episode. Been looking forward to this one for a long time. Also, thank you for joining all the way from London. Like, this is quite the time difference. How are you feeling today?
Oh, it's all right. I'm very used to this because despite the accent, obviously the accent is not from London. I am from Baltimore, so this is where my whole family still is. So I could do time zones all day long. This is fine.
A Maryland girly. I lived in Maryland for a little bit, very briefly. Not in Baltimore, but I lived in Hyattsville, the DMV area for a little bit. It was a great time. The blackest time of my life. I loved it so much. I think about moving back every 5 seconds. So very happy to have a Maryland girly joining us today.
Yes, we'd love to see it. Absolutely.
I gave you a very short bio, but it does not nearly do you justice. You ran a magazine when you were 16. You've been in the music industry ever since. Can you give us just like a brief rundown of your adolescent career and just the space that you've been in historically and how it got to like where you are now?
Yeah, it's been the journey. I started, take it all the way back. When I was like 14 or so, I met a local band outside of a Simple Plan show. They're like, hey, check out my band. I was like, cool, love them. Ended up, long story short, running their street team. This is back in '04 when people mostly did things off the internet. And so this was also the MySpace era. So I started doing digital marketing because of that with artists in my area from Baltimore, where I was from. Fast forward a bit, I was turning 16 soon. This was also the era of my super sweet 16, and I was like, cool, I want a big birthday party. And so I had, in the span of 2 years, befriended all of the bands in my neighborhood, in my town, in Baltimore. These were all pop punk bands, basically, and the biggest band from Baltimore, most people probably know, is All Time Low. All Time Low played my 16th birthday party because they were the kids down the street that many years ago. Yeah. So they headlined my 16th birthday party. It was an amazing time. I had a great time booking it, had a great time marketing it and planning it and things like that. So I was like, cool, I want to keep doing this. So I continued to book shows, and I started my magazine called Scene Trash Magazine back in '06. Built that out to a staff of 12 girls from New York down to Florida. We were covering basically local bands and like pop punk bands. So this was the era of, everyone from Fall Out Boy, Paramore, but like smaller bands that had like big hits at the time, and then everyone in between. So we were doing that. I ended up going to undergrad to study music business and journalism. I filmed a documentary about how social media has changed the way artists and fans interact, and this was 2007. I filmed documentary in probably 2010-ish. And so I did a lot of that filming actually on Warped Tour, which was really fun. And in between all of that, I was doing odds and ends and bits and pieces, all focused on music, like working for radio stations, working for venues, whatever I could find to do for a span of like 5+ years while I was still like not old enough to drink alcohol, basically.
This is a legend, y'all. Do y'all hear everything that Christine just laid out? Can you imagine running a fucking staff of 12 people at 16 years old on the coastal East Coast of the United States? What's happening?
It was a special time.
I'm flabbergasted. I couldn't even imagine. Okay. We're going to move into Warped Tour. Cool. I'm just going to define Warped Tour for those of you who might not know what it is. I know all of y'all know what it is, but just in case you don't, the Warped Tour was a traveling rock tour that toured the United States and Canada each summer from 1995 until 2019. It was the largest traveling music festival in the United States and the longest running touring music festival to date in North America. Following the first Warped Tour, the skateboard shoe manufacturer Vans became the tour's main sponsor, when it then became known as the Vans Warped Tour. Warped Tour was convened by Kevin Lehman. Is it Lyman or Lehman? Do you know, Christine?
It's Lyman.
Okay, I knew you would know. Warped Tour was convened by Kevin Lyman as an electric alternative rock festival, but later began focusing on punk rock music. Although it was primarily a punk rock festival, it covered diverse genres over the years. Wild. I didn't know a lot about Warped Tour before I read this definition. I was like, oh, It traveled. Okay, that makes sense. Of course, it had to travel because everybody wasn't coming to fucking California. I just thought it was in California because
It's
that's where
called
I was.
tour.
You know what I mean? And it was tour, but I was like, oh, yeah, maybe the tour aspect would
Maybe
give me
I
that.
don't
That
know.
totally makes sense. We're gonna throw it a break real quick, and when we come back, we will talk about fashions and all of that type of stuff. Hey y'all, it's Maximum Fun Drive. To all my listeners who have been with me since day one, this might be your first time hearing about Maximum Fun Drive at all. I know you're wondering, what is Maximum Fun Drive? So, as I mentioned before, this is the one time a year where we all come together to invite you to support the show as a member or by boosting or upgrading your membership if you're already a member. I know that talking about Maximum Fun membership is a little bit confusing, so let me make it clear for y'all. This is Patreon esque. It's kind of like I'm asking you to become a patron. Remember when I used to have a Patreon? I don't have a Patreon anymore because now I'm a Maximum Fun and the bonus content lives there. So it's essentially the same. I would love for y'all to go and donate, pledge a certain membership amount per month for the show. And you'll be supporting me in the same way that you were supporting me over on Patreon, that same support just on a different website. What is this membership paying for, you ask? Maximum Fun membership pays for shows, and you get to choose what show gets your contribution. In this case, you would contribute to my show. And if you see any other shows listed that you're like, oh, that looks interesting, you're welcome to contribute to that as well. But you're helping me keep this show going. Because let me tell you, doing it alone is hard. You know, I do need some monetary support a little bit. So if you have it, I would love for you to give it to me. I would love to have it. Your donation will go to things like paying for editors, paying for events, and just making sure the show can stay up and running because you know content for Black and brown people be getting cut left and right. Becoming a Maximum Fun member empowers your favorite creatives to create with the resources that they need. Hopefully, I am one of your favorite creators, and hopefully, you would like to empower me with the resources that I need. That would be great. So, ways to join. You can either join, upgrade, or boost your current membership. To join, you can go to MaximumFun.org/join, and you'll see all the membership tiers and shows available to contribute to. Of course, you'll pick Black People Love Paramore. If you're already a member, you can upgrade your membership and receive some cool thank you gifts, and especially this cool show pen. It is Black People Love Paramore pen. It literally says Black People Love Paramore on it. It's a pretty like it's a nice, it's a well-made pen. It's a well-made pen, like a pen that you put on your bag, not a pen that you write with. Also, with this membership, you'll get access to an entire library of bonus content for all the Maximum Fun shows for as little as $5 a month. Which reminds me, we're excited for you to enjoy this year's bonus content from us. Black People Love Sequoia Holmes, moderated by Jewel Wicker. That's the first piece of bonus content y'all will have access to. Another piece of bonus content y'all have access to is the Black Max Fun Host Roundtable featuring Danielle Radford from Tights and Fights, Dimitri Pompey, host of Eurovangelist, and Iffy Wadiwe of Maximum Film. We have a bonus content teaser dropping tomorrow, which will live on just the regular episode. So y'all will be enticed to join with more Max Fun Drive information. So stay tuned for that. As a reminder, content like this show and bonus content take time and money. So your support as a Maximum Fun member can make all the difference. You can join monthly at $5 a month or more if you got it. If you rather get it all done at once, you can opt to pay upfront for a year of support with the option to go monthly once that year is up. Subscribers getting the opportunity to join us at the Vinyl and Vino Riot Paramore album event was the tier 1 goal. That's done. That's over. That was week 1. Now, tier 2 goal, if we get 25 subscribers, we'll go weekly. Tier 3 goal, if we get 75 subscribers, I will rap a verse for y'all. And tier 4 goal, if we get 150 subscribers, we'll have 2 fans on the show. Tier 5 goal, 450 subscribers, and we'll throw a BPLP live show. And it'll be fun. All you have to do is donate $5 per month for any of these to become a reality. For at least one of them. I don't know. Just don't go donate the $5, y'all. Okay. Go to MaximumFun.org/join to start your membership and support your favorite Maximum Fun creators like me. And if you got it like that, you already have the show added to the list of Max Fun shows you love. You can upgrade your membership or even boost by $1. And we're back. Christine, what were you wearing to Warp Tour? What was the fashion giving at the time?
Oh gosh, so I started going to Warped Tour, I think when I was 16. I feel like I should have looked this up before I started this
No,
conversation,
it's
but I'm
okay.
pretty certain it was 2006. And so all the cool kids were wearing, gosh, hair that did this a lot.
Yes.
I have not let go of my chokehold that bangs have on me in general, so I love bangs still.
Yes.
I personally, so the thing about it is like, let's be real, like we're the podcast we're currently on. I'm a black girl,
Yep.
and I did not look like the scene kids that were going to Warp Tour. So I did not dress like the scene kids that were going to Warp Tour because I was like, yeah, I'm still not gonna look like them even if I put on this exact same outfit. So
Mm-hmm.
I was at Warp Tour in cute little dresses, yeah, little day dresses, sundresses. In the
Come
middle of the summer, it was
on,
hot.
Christine.
Like the
Yes.
little, I couldn't like the tiny, like the really tight skinny jeans and like the belts and
Yeah.
that like I just that was not my vibe. So
Wow.
I was normally in sundresses and like I was real comfy and just enjoy my time. I was, for the most part, when it came to Warp Tour from age 17 on, I was usually working in some capacity.
Mm.
So like I had stuff to do. So I had to be like able to move around, had to be really comfortable, had to be able to get from here to there. So
Yeah.
I was wearing all kinds of things, but what everyone else was wearing was lots of lots of very tight clothing and lots of very ripped clothing.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I know you say you haven't been to Warp Tour, like you didn't know much about the Warp Tour vibe, but it was hot.
Yeah.
Like a level of hot you don't even fathom because some of the days would just be like in a parking lot in a stadium, not even in the stadium. It'd be in the parking lot outside the
Yeah.
stadium. So there's no cover, there's nothing, there's no shade,
Yeah.
there's nothing like there's no protection from the sun.
Yeah.
Um,
Just in there burning,
wild.
crisping.
Just and let me say again, I melanated with sunscreen on still. I felt real bad for some people that did not prepare properly for the direct sunlight for literally the days like a 10-hour day. It starts at like noon and goes till 10 p.m.
I
It
know
was
they
a
was
whole thing.
red. They was red as
People did
hell.
not make it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever heard of like sun allergies when folks
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
are allergic
This
to
is
the
the thing.
sun?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've seen like the swollen foreheads that come from a sun allergy and all that type of stuff.
Wild.
I know all of that was probably
And the
rampant.
itching
Yes.
and stuff like
And
that.
just like the
Yes.
rash. I'm sure that was
Yeah.
rampant at Warp Tour.
That would be the worst time to figure out that you had that allergy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm here to party and turn up, and here I am. The sun's trying to
Right.
kill me while I'm outside. That's wild.
Exactly.
Mm.
Right.
I did not go, as we mentioned, but I definitely had a very emo phase, probably between sixth grade and ninth grade, probably like a 3 year stint. And so if I had gone, and I was in sixth grade to ninth grade from 2006 to 2009 ish, if I had gone, I know my ass would have been mimicking those kids that you talking about. I would have worn the colored skinny jeans. I would have had a mesh fishnet fingerless glove. I loved
Yep.
the fingerless glove. That was my whole vibe.
Oh yes.
I would have worn a tie. Definitely wore ties to school regularly. Vans, of course, the slip-on
Of
ones.
course.
Black nail polish, lots of eyeliner. That was the only makeup I wore at the time, and
Yeah.
I thought it was
Same
like,
though. The eyeliner, I did rock the eyeliner.
yes,
Absolutely. We can't. I can't forget that. I definitely had the
we
eyeliner
can't forget the
on.
eyeliner, and it felt so special. Like I really felt like I had on like a full face. As soon as I put that
Oh yes.
eyeliner on, I was like, I'm a different girl.
Can't tell me
You
nothing.
can't tell me anything. I'm a different
Nothing.
girl. Okay, I know
Absolutely.
y'all see the
Yep.
lined eyes, and like you mentioned, the bangs swooped over the eye.
Oh
I
yes.
loved the bang at that time. I loved the bang, and if I could, I don't wear my hair out anymore, my natural hair out anymore in a straightened way. I do wear my natural hair out, but not straightened. If I
Same.
did the way that I would have that bang, y'all wouldn't be able to tell me anything.
Absolutely. Let me tell you, I straighten my hair just for like length checks, basically. So like
Yes.
every like year, I'll do a length check, and I'm like, oh, we're doing the whole bang, we're doing the whole thing because we can. Like the bangs have not gone away. I don't care. You
Mm-mm.
can't. No. That and people are like, oh, that's really millennial. I don't care.
I don't care.
That is me.
I don't care. And I also feel like the millennial stuff doesn't apply to black people.
Right.
Like, how
Because
are
we
you?
started everything anyway.
We
Let's be real.
started everything. And if I started wearing a bang, you bitches would too. So
Yes.
shut up.
So
Yeah,
yes,
let's leave it at that.
exactly.
Okay, dream lineup for you. I
Oh,
have something if you want me to start, but if you have something off top of your mind, please.
oh my gosh. So like the thing about Warped Tour, right, is that like I feel like some years I would arrive to Warped Tour and not even remember who was playing Warped Tour
Yeah,
because like it was a requirement. It was like how Coachella sells out before Coachella line,
you just
like it's like
went.
that, right?
Yep.
It was like who was playing was almost irrelevant to the situation at hand.
Yeah.
When I got there, I was like, oh, dope, this person's playing. Oh, cool, cool, cool. But like I didn't even know what I was walking into. I just knew that it was going to be a good time, right? And so like it's funny because like the way I grew up. I like this is I'm gonna go on a tangent, so I apologize, but
No,
this
you're
is
good.
important, I swear.
Yeah.
And so so I grew up in Baltimore, right? Baltimore is what's referred to as like a B market when it comes to touring. So a lot of times artists will skip Baltimore. Quite often they'll do DC, they might do Philly, but they won't come to Baltimore a lot. And so I had the added advantage of being in Baltimore. And because I was in Baltimore, I was never competing with big publications with my magazine and things like that. So when any band, like any pop punk band came to town, the chance of me getting the interview, the photo pass, whatever I needed was super high
Yeah.
because I was the only ask of the day.
Yeah.
There was nothing else they had to do that day but like meet with me,
Yeah.
basically. And so over the course of running my magazine, so over the course of like 2005 ish up until like 2011-ish, I made friends with so many incredible bands. Some of them are still friends to this day and things like that. And so when I think about like my dream lineup is, there's like two different lineups. One dream lineup is like I get to hang out with all my friends for the day.
Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then the other dream lineup is like the bands that like I would be so amped to see when I was at Warped Tour. So it's like two different vibes entirely, and sometimes they overlap.
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily all the time, but
Yeah.
like if I was thinking about dream lineup, it'd be like some combination of like me just getting to hang out with my friends and then also getting to see like my favorite bands. And so the dream obviously would be like a combination of like if we got like My Chemical Romance and Paramore and Fall Out Boy all like headlining somehow, like that's amazing. But
Mm-hmm.
I also was the only like of all my friends, I was one of the only ones that really loved like so like Vans Warped Tour started with like a lot of punk acts, right? Like that was a
Yes.
like his bread and butter for a long time. And so I was always joking with my friends. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna finally run off and go see Less Than Jake or NoFX or something like that
Mm-hmm.
instead too. So like adding that, like I love Less Than Jake. So like adding them to like the dream lineup is like absolutely keep piling on. Or like Real Big Fish, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, like stuff like that also. So toss that on top as well. And then if we want to get like hardcore about it, I'm like, cool, we can put on like an Every Time I Die. Also, we had to put on like a 4 Year Strong, a Day to Remember. So that's like all of like the like we're gonna party for the day. That's great. And then like I toss in some friends. All my friends' bands broke up at this point. There's
Oh.
so many friends. No, it's fine. We're old now. But so many friends that like I would toss on so many friends just for the hangs.
Yeah, I get that. That totally makes sense. Wow. Okay, you had some deep cuts there. We started off with
Yeah,
like stuff where I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
and then we got
yeah.
in stuff where I'm like, hold on, I don't, I never
we,
heard.
we
I
can
don't
go down the
know.
rabbit
Yeah, I'm
hole. I
like,
promise.
whoa, I don't know what that is. Okay, wow. I'm gonna have to check some of this out. Do you have like playlists on Spotify or anything by chance?
I have so many playlists on Spotify.
Okay, are
I
they
have like
public?
they are.
Okay.
Some of them are probably real embarrassing, but I have a ton of playlists on Spotify because I really love like two parts. Like I love contextual playlists, and this is why I say the AI can never replace playlist creation
Yes.
because I have like very very specific playlists for very very specific
Yeah.
purposes that AI would never figure out. Like I have one that I've been building right now that's called "I'm the Shit" per the Recording Academy,
Uh
which is
huh.
a Megan Thee Stallion
Yes, it
line,
is.
and it's literally songs in which artists quote factual things about themselves in the song. Um,
Wait, I love a niche
which
playlist
is
like
very
that.
specific playlist. And so like another
Yes.
track on there is a song called Take Me Back to London, which is an Ed Sheeran and Stormzy track. And there's a line in it where Ed Sheeran says, grossed $500 million on the Divide tour, which is accurate. He made $500 million on the Divide tour
Ed
that he did.
Sheeran
And so
said
that's the
that?
line.
That
Yes.
gives a rap bar. That absolutely
Oh, it
gives a
is a
rap
rap
bar.
bar.
That's
You should hear the
wild.
song. It's a wild track. It's actually really good, but it is a rap bar
Yeah,
on this
Stormzy and Ed
track.
Sheeran feel like an interesting
Wild.
combination. Okay.
Wild combo.
Yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that. So that was a long answer to yes. I have plenty of playlists available on Spotify.
Wow. I only dream of making such niche playlists. I always wanted to make like a braggadocious rap only playlist where it's
Yes.
just rappers talking their shit. Female
Yep.
rap
I have one of
version
those
and
called
like
like "Twirl on Them Haters,"
oh,
and it's yeah, just
now I'm about to be
like
stalking the hell out of Christine's Spotify. I can't wait. I can't wait. This is gonna be fun. Okay, back to Warped Tour and another question.
yes, yes,
What's the best place to stand when you're at Warped Tour? Because here's my issue with all of them, okay? In the front, you might get crushed. Middle,
yeah,
you're becoming part of like the moving body of water that is the
yeah.
crowd. And in the back, you're safe, but you can't see and the audio gets kind of warped. LOL. And that type of thing. What's the best place to stand?
Yeah. Okay. So that's a great question. So again, this is two parts. So sometimes I would be working, and so if I was working, sometimes I would be backstage, which sounds really cool, but it's the worst sound by
I
far. You
thought
can't
so.
hear
I
anything because
figured.
sound is meant to go
Forward.
forward. So if it was a band that I loved, I would leave backstage for the
Yes.
express purpose to actually see the show in a good way.
Yes.
Like I wasn't one of those people that's like, I gotta stand back here and look cool. No, no, no. I gotta. This is one of my favorite bands. I don't care. I'm going to where I can hear this sounding good.
Yeah.
And so that was important to me. And so I would never be like all the way in the front. I would probably be like in the middle-ish bit before like the crowd started pushing up because I love to dance. I would be in the back. Me and my best friend would be in the back when we'd be dancing our asses off the entire time.
That's so
And so you have
cute.
to have enough space to move. So never all the way in the front. Always in the middle.
Okay, always in the middle. That definitely
Always in
makes
the
sense. I
middle.
saw the photos
Yep.
of you and your best friend. I'm assuming that was your best friend in the photos of the LinkedIn article that you wrote with all the
Oh
band
yeah.
pictures. That was
Yep.
so cute. It was so nostalgic. I'm like, oh my
Babies.
God, they look just like me when I was this age. This is wild. I love that we all have
Absolute
like very
babies.
similar experiences, and now that we're all
Yes.
talking about it as an adult, because it was, at the time it was like different for Black kids to be like this, but we weren't really that different. We were all really doing the same shit. So
Right,
it's kind of
exactly. Oh, we
wild.
had so much fun and like it was a good time. What a time to be alive, I swear. Like
Like y'all weren't there. Y'all don't
right.
understand. It really
I
was a time to
don't
be
get
alive.
it.
Oh, I didn't tell you my
Yeah.
dream lineup. My dream
Oh yeah,
lineup
yeah,
is so
please do.
fucking basic, okay? But it's my dream. It's my world. So here we are. Paramore, of
Hmm.
course. My Chemical Romance,
Yes.
Fall Out Boy, of course.
Yes.
Green Day, Metro
Very good.
Station, Cobra Starship, Good Charlotte, Jimmy Eat World, and 303. That would
Amazing.
be my vibe.
This is the only time I'm gonna do this, but fun fact, I have met all of those bands except two. Um,
Oh yeah, we got the expert on the pod, y'all. We got the expert on
just
the
from like
pod, y'all.
various things between like mostly from like doing like work with the magazine, but once in a while from like random house parties, like just like a combination of things. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that was my life. It was a really good time.
Wow. No, that really does sound like an incredible time. I'm jealous. Which ones did you not meet? Which two did you not meet?
Jimmy Eat World, I've never met.
Mhm.
Never met my chem.
I'm shocked by that one.
Yeah, no, they got real big real quick.
Okay,
So a lot
yeah.
of when I say I met a lot of these bands, it's because they got big slowly, and so it was much easier. But my chem got real big real quick.
Yeah.
I think Green Day, never met Green Day. I
Oh
think that's
wow.
it.
Okay, you know what?
That's
Yeah,
probably
because
everyone. Yeah.
that makes sense for those three because I
Yep.
feel like those three are older bands and
Yep.
you probably were too young when they were
Yeah, exactly.
really
Coming up,
popping off.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Except for
So,
my chem. My chem just got big so quickly
right.
that
They weren't old. They just
there
got
wasn't
quick.
any small
Yes.
time.
Yes. Right. There was no
But the
time.
other two, yeah, I just wasn't, they got big when I was too younger. Jimmy Eat World is like top three favorite bands for me though. I listen to them constantly.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. You said you have not
Yeah.
met them.
No, I've not. No,
Wow.
no.
No, y'all, Jimmy Eat
Yeah.
World, stop playing and come talk to Christine. Okay. Y'all need to come talk to Christine. She's real out here. Which band have you seen the most live?
The most live Fall Out Boy by far.
Oh
They're my
wow.
favorite band.
Okay. They're your favorite
They've been my
band.
favorite band since I was very young, by far. Somewhere in the ballpark at least 30 times. I
Mm-hmm.
probably more than that. Like a lot of times basically.
30 is fucking wild. I was not expecting
It's
that number.
genuinely probably higher than that, but like I'm just gonna estimate
So
30.
trying to keep it
Like
cute. 30.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Because like there was a point in time in my life, basically between like '07 to 2011ish, I was probably going to like 70 shows a year. Like I was going to so many, and so that's why I'm like, oh yeah, I saw Paul up with like 3 days in a row, whatever kind of nonsense combo this was. Yes, yes.
That's some shit you have to do when you're young.
Oh
You
girl,
have to do that
let
when
me
you're
tell you,
young.
if I go out one week and you ask me to go out next week, I'm like, I don't know about all that. You're
Me
asking for too much.
too. Literally, the Veronicas are like going on tour, I guess, and they're going to be in LA May
Yep.
5th, which is a Sunday. And I was looking at
Yep.
those tickets like, it's a Sunday, y'all.
Sunday.
Like, Sunday, you're killing me. I think I'm going to go,
Right.
but yeah, I'm nervous about it being a Sunday.
You gotta like prep your whole next Monday. You're like trying to take off on
You
Monday.
know,
I don't
right?
know.
I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? But speaking of Fall Out Boy, have you heard of a podcast called Sugar We're Going In?
I haven't listened to it yet, but
Okay.
it's on my to-do
Okay,
list
I just wanted to
because
make
like
sure
the
that you heard of it.
influence there, I could talk about the influence between hip hop and rock for like all day.
Oh,
So like that's yes.
wait,
Like
you should go on
I
her podcast. You should definitely go on
I
that show.
I would love that drop. Like that sounds
She
fun.
would love that. We love Scarlett over here. Scardi B, she's a fantastic host. I've been on the podcast. It's a
Incredible.
great show. You should definitely listen and then go on if you would like to.
Yeah, I love that.
I wanted to know, upon looking at Warp Tour's not set list, what is it? The performers through the
Lineup. Yep.
lineups through the years, why did 303 headline 4 separate times? It was once in 2018, once in 2016, 2011, and 2009, and that's only including the times they headlined and not, the other times. I feel like 303 was not that big all those years.
But they were.
Were they?
Do you
In
remember
2018?
Do you remember like it's funny because I was gonna say a sentence and I remember this name of a 303 song, but do you remember the chokehold that 303 had though?
I was in the
Do you
chokehold.
remember that line, right? You tell your boyfriend if he says he's got beef,
I'm
then
a
I'm a vegetarian and I am fucking
scared of him.
It's still such a bar.
Yes.
we are a decade plus out, and that's still such a bar.
Yeah.
Like the absolute chokehold. The thing about it was that not only did like the pop punk kids love them, like the hip hop kids love them,
And I was both.
but also just
And I
like
did
the
love
most
them.
jockey, like sports kids love them, and also people love them in the club. Like there was so many different variations of people that loved the 303.
Yeah.
They also were like commercially successful. I think one of their tracks was on like The Sims.
Oh, wow.
And then they did a track with Katy Perry.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like they were wildly successful.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I can't remember which year, but I remember a year when like they got moved. I think I want to say they got moved to headliner mid Warped Tour, which is a thing that happens. Like bands would like start blowing up like because like an album come out in the middle of Warped Tour and they get moved to like headliner slots like as like the tour was going on, which was really fun.
Wow.
And so I remember a day, I can't remember what city I was in anymore. I was actually, funny enough, I was talking to one of the guys at 303 and I was like, when you guys announced like your stage or moved your stage, you should have seen the like avalanche of children that were running in that direction. I filmed it and I sent it to him. I was like, this is what it looked like. It was wild. It was like, I know it seems like in hindsight it seems ridiculous. You're like, no, they could have possibly been, but they were so big.
Wow. No, this is so wild. I had 2 of 303's physical CDs. I had the first one, it was the blue one, and then I had the gold one that looks like this. I don't remember the names.
Yep.
Yes, Want, and I don't remember that first one. Maybe it was just called 303. I don't know.
think so.
Anyways, I had both of them, and I was very much a 303 girly, and I guess I just didn't realize how big they truly were.
They were very big.
Clearly so, but it definitely makes sense because I also was a hip hop girl in the same, probably more so even than I was an emo girl, and they seemed to like that definite bridge. Did you remember their song called Rich Man by chance?
Oh, yes.
That one used to drive me. I used to go feral when Rich Man came on. I thought that was true fucking rap. You could not tell me that was
can't tell me nothing.
Rap. Right? Okay. I was like, you guys, you're not listening. Did you catch the lyrics?
Yeah. Bars. I don't care. They were bars. Absolute bars. I don't care.
Yeah. It was kind of like college rap or something, like college hip hop. They were in college. I remember that.
Yeah, which was around the same time. I mean, it was around the same time that like Asher Roth was really big, for example. Like same energy, same like a crazy time.
Whoa.
But like all the kids came together to like bond over like certain artists, and like 303 was definitely one of those kids that like one of the groups like kids came together to like bond over, And I think that was also around the same time of like we're like approaching the same time around like Mac Miller being really big. Like there were so many things happening simultaneously that just like blended and meshed and off. Don't forget about like Gym Class Heroes, for example. Like
always.
It was a time.
Yeah, I forgot about Asher Roth. I hope he's well.
I hope so too.
What a good time.
Seemed like a good guy.
He really did. I think he knew one of my friends, and my friend was like, no, he's like actually a fantastic person. And I was like, oh, I'm very happy to hear that. Sometimes you hear the opposite. Anyways, best songs that really get the crowd going. For example, the bridge of Misery Business. I watched his wildest dreams come true. Yeah.
That's definitely one. I would say I'm gonna do some deep cuts because I know what the energy is like for some of these. So there is A Day to Remember, Downfall of Us All.
Okay.
Let me tell you, if you want to hush a party, if you want to like silence a room, if you want to silence a crowd, you just go da 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 da. Da, 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 da. People lose their minds. It doesn't matter if it's a house party. It doesn't matter if it's Warped Tour. People lose their minds. I saw A Day to Remember on Warped Tour in Florida, which is their home state, and I have like unbelievable what was happening. Like incredible. So I would definitely say that was another good one. God. So I never saw Mike come on Warped Tour. Ironically, I saw him at other place, but I never saw him on Warped
Mm-hmm.
Tour. But you know, like let's be real. Like I'm gonna say, so if you wanted honesty, that's all you had to say. Like the second,
That's very fair. That's
the
very fair. It
second
leaves the lips.
that's over.
It's
Like
over.
it's
I
over.
just saw Mike
Oh
Kim for the
God.
first time,
Yeah,
like two
yeah.
years ago, maybe when they were
Mhm.
touring. And the show was so much better than I anticipated it
Yep.
being. I didn't go in with any expectations, really.
Yep.
It was wild. The
Yep.
stamina on Gerard was
Yeah.
wild. And
After
then
all
I
these
looked up his
years.
age
Yep.
and I
Yep.
was like, oh, Gerard is like 40 something, not
Yeah.
four, like
Right.
45 or something. And I was
He's
like,
not a
oh
kid.
my God. It was wild. The stamina was insane. The show's energy was wild. It was very cool.
Yeah, I saw them. I mean, I saw them in like '04. I saw them a couple, maybe a handful of other times, but when I saw them at When We Were Young Festival
Yeah.
2 years ago, let me let me tell you how embarrassing I was spinning around in circles so
I
excited
love
because
it.
they literally ended I'm Not Okay and then Paramore started Misery Business directly afterwards and you
I'd explode. I can't
what
believe I missed that. Oh my God, I'm such a dumbass for not going. I
I
told myself
almost
I was going to
passed
go and I'm
out.
like, I'm too old to go to festivals. Like, I don't want to do it
No.
anymore. Like, I'm
No.
exhausted. I should have fucking taken my ass.
I almost passed out when the second they switch over. It was like a seamless transition. I almost died. It was amazing.
Oh, I'm
Like,
unwell. I'm unwell at the thought. I need to find the recording of it.
just
I know somebody fucking
oh
recorded the moment
god,
and I need to find it because I
I'm
need it.
sure they did.
Yeah.
It was not me because I was dancing around like an asshole, but it
Naturally.
was amazing.
Yeah. Somebody that didn't quite understand was
Right.
definitely recording it. So I'm going to find it. Let's go to break. And when we come back, we'll talk about which Warp Tour was the best. Okay, and we're back. Of all the Warp Tours that you went to, is there a specific year or lineup or band or anything like that that sticks out more than the other?
That's a great question. In my head, like Warped Tour all like
Mushes together.
blends
Yeah.
together into like one like fever dream nostalgic memory. Like there's not I couldn't even tell you which Warped Tour things happened, who
Mm-hmm.
played or things like that. It just all like melted together. So I guess what I'll point out it would be like two important ones to me. One was the first one I ever went to. I'm pretty certain I was 16. I think it was '06. And I had won like a radio contest or something like that. And I think it was the year that Warped Tour was started in Baltimore for the first and I believe only time ever. The first date was Baltimore for some reason.
Wow.
And so I won. I don't, yeah, random. There's no reason. I think maybe one of the times this might have happened, but randomly it was the first date. And so I won tickets that included like backstage passes ish, basically. And so that day I got there, I was able to go like backstage or whatever. And since this was the first day of the tour, a bunch of stuff hadn't really been set up yet. They were working through some stuff like that. So I was in like the production offices and I went up to someone that was a production office. And I was like, hey, I won this contest. Do you guys need any help today? And she's like, yeah, actually we do. And I ended up like putting up like the numbers on the buses for the tour buses and doing like all these odds and ends kind of things basically for like some of the day and then watching the bands the rest of the day. And like I was like, cool, this is a thing I can do. I love this. So like I had a really good time that year. I don't remember who played. I know I had a good time, but I
Mm-hmm.
remember doing that. And so subsequently since then I had always been either like I had like a table for my magazine, I was doing interviews for my magazine, or I was helping out. I volunteered and helped out with the press coordinator a few years on Warped Tour, for example. So I was always kind of working and doing these different things while I was there.
Yeah.
And so the last year of Warped Tour was God, what was it? 2018, 2017 or 2018 was like the final year of Warped Tour. I had already moved abroad at this point. So I think it was 2018. I was already in Stockholm. I lived in Sweden at that
Nice.
time in 2018, and I flew home basically just to go to the
That's
final year of
so
Warped Tour.
funny.
And like, I didn't even know if I was going to be going. I think I decided last minute, so I didn't hit up any friends. I didn't get any guest lists. I literally, like, I think I even bought a ticket on the internet. I had literally never bought a ticket on the internet before because I always was doing
Yeah.
something. And I just went to Warped Tour like a normal person.
Nice.
And I had such a fun
Yeah.
time. Like, and so like that was the last one. I'm actually wearing my Warped Tour shirt. This is the final
Oh,
Warped Tour. See if I can.
yeah.
There we
Oh,
go.
nice.
2018.
Nice. Ooh, and that's a really nice pink too. I don't know why I didn't realize you're wearing a pink.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I like the blazer. It's cute.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was like those are the two like probably most memorable that kind of stick out because they were like the bookends, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
beginning and the end.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of tours as an adult, let's talk about when we were young festival. You mentioned it a little bit before. I know
Yep.
that you went. I'm so jealous that I didn't go. I think they've had 2 or 3 now.
Two now.
2 now,
Yeah.
and the third one is
Yep.
soon.
Coming in October. Yep.
Okay, I'm probably gonna have to make my way to this third one because I need
Hmm.
to stop playing for real.
Yep.
How
Exactly.
was the experience going to when we were young festival?
Well, let me tell you, like I am a real proper adult now, so I had like
Yeah.
responsibilities. So I live in London. I was in Amsterdam for a conference I was speaking at.
Mm-hmm.
And so I literally flew from Amsterdam to London. It's like a 90-minute flight, if that. I had already pre-packed a bag. I had to switch airports, so I went home, grabbed the pre-packed suitcase, swapped out the other suitcase, went to the other airport, flew literally to Vegas.
It was fucking serious. This was
2 nights
serious.
in Vegas and then flew all the way back to
Oh
London.
my
That was
god.
it. That
Oh
was
my
all
god.
I
Oh my
did.
god. You took a flight from
Girl,
London to
girl,
Vegas to only do
girl.
2 days, one,
2 nights.
but 2 nights, but
Yep,
also go to a festival. That's fucking
sure
exhausting. The
did.
flight is exhausting, the
Sure,
festival is exhausting, and then you
the
flew
whole thing.
back to London.
Hmm. Mind you, I was already in Amsterdam. Don't forget, I started in Amsterdam, and I had been in Amsterdam for like 4 nights because I was
Christine.
working. And then,
Christine,
let me tell you,
you must got young energy. You must got
I
Magnes,
don't. I
something. You must got it all.
oh God. So yes, I did this. Um,
Wow.
it was worth every minute of it. It was so incredible. And the thing about it was like it was like a long ass flight to get from London to Vegas is a long flight, right?
Yeah.
And it was one of those flights that didn't have Wi-Fi because that still is a thing,
This is
right?
a nightmare.
Right. And so I had tickets for Sunday, right? And this is important, right? I had tickets for Sunday. So I was flying in, I was in the air during the day, Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So day one was Saturday, day two was Sunday. I was in the air Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So I land on Saturday night to find out that the first day of the festival didn't happen because of a wind issue.
Oh my
And so I'm
god.
like, oh my God.
Oh my god.
Right? Crazy. And so I did not know this until I landed after my 11-hour flight, right?
Ugh.
That like so I was like, oh no, hopefully the next day happens because like I had tickets for the next day.
Yeah.
Thankfully it did
Yeah.
happen, but what an intense thing to wait let's like literally land and find out is that the festival you were going to one of the days didn't actually happen,
Didn't happen
basically.
is wild.
Yeah. Yep.
No. I do remember that
Yep.
kind of. I remember
Yep.
people being like, "Oh, the first day's canceled." And I was
Yep.
like, "I'm so glad that I didn't get these
Yep.
fucking tickets because I would
Exactly.
have been
Which fair.
livid."
Fair, entirely fair. So I was real happy that I had the right day tickets,
Yeah.
basically.
No.
Um, and so after all that was said and done, I had such a good time. So many of my friends came out. We all were made reckless decisions and decided that we're all going to do this, basically.
Yeah.
I saw Jimmy Eat World, and I love Jimmy Eat World.
Mhm.
I saw Paramore. I saw My Chem.
Yeah.
Like I spent the day. I think I saw 303.
Yep. Yep.
Like I spent the day running around the like did 303 play? Am I making that up? I'm like I remember it was a
That
good
sounds
day.
right. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I am actually going again this year.
Okay.
I literally just decided a couple weeks ago that I'm going because a bunch of bands are doing full albums, and let me tell
Stop
you,
it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Wait,
let
how'd you
me
find that
tell
out?
you. Yeah, they announced
They did?
it. Yeah,
Okay. Did they
they're
announce it
doing a
already?
full album. Yep. Oh yeah, I believe they announced it and it's very much sold out. But I'm sure you can figure it
Stop
out.
it.
You can
Oh,
make
I'm
that
definitely going to figure it
happen.
out. We'll
Oh,
be there this year. I'm not
day
missing
two
it
is
again.
available.
Okay. Okay,
It was
great.
yeah, we're good. We're good.
Always go day 2. You never know if they're gonna have day 1. I don't know at this point, so I do that
And
anyways.
so yeah, a bunch of artists are doing like their first like they're doing their full album. So like My Chem is doing Black Parade in its
Of course.
entirety. A Day Remember is doing Homesick in its entirety. Jimmy Eat World's doing Bleed America. And
Hmm.
like yeah, it's a whole thing.
That's so
And
cool.
I'm so excited.
I love that they
I
get to
wasn't
do that.
yeah. I wasn't gonna go when I was like, oh, probably I can go when we were young. I don't need to go again, et cetera, et cetera. And then when I heard they're doing full albums, I was like, shut up. I don't
You're
care.
like, well, I guess I gotta
Take
go.
my money.
Yeah.
I even got the higher price tickets this time. I don't care. Whatever.
We'll be there. And this is what happens when you like grow up and you get a little bit of money and you get to really enjoy your shit. You know, because you get to pay for the premium versions of your shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I just said, I only paid for Warped Tour once in my entire life. So this is just like recouping.
It's just recouping. Yeah. You could stand to give a little bit, you know. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that they were doing full albums. And that definitely changes things for me. I'm probably going to have to take my little self.
303 is doing Want. I'm just saying.
I'm definitely going to have to take my ass. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to bring my best friend too because we had a whole thing, of course.
You have to.
Oh, wait. I forgot Panic at the Disco. I definitely would also have Panic at the Disco on my dream lineup. I feel like they are a little... they fit the least, but I would definitely have Panic at the Disco on my dream lineup, personally.
Absolutely.
Not just Brendan Urie, but... all of them.
Right, the guy bring the whole band back.
I would like everybody to be there, ideally. We're going to play a little game of overrated or underrated. Okay, so I'm going to list some things, very Warped Tour themed things, and you'll tell me if they're overrated to you, underrated to you, and why, just a little bit. Okay? All right, Mosh Pits.
I think at Warped Tour probably underrated.
Okay.
Because there's so many there's punk bands, you're like, okay, Mosh Pits is like punk band cool, but like Mosh Pits and pop punk is so fun. Like that's a good time.
Pop punk, yes. Pop punk mosh pits are fun.
Yeah. That's so fun. Absolutely. That's underrated. People aren't doing it enough. Do it more. It's great.
That's very fair. Death metal mosh pits are terrifying.
No, I don't need all that.
Wild.
That's too much.
Rap mosh pits, as we see, have gotten a little bit out of hand. We've seen the Astro World effect. But pop punk ones seem like they're fun.
Pop punk ones.
Yeah, they seem like a good time.
No one's getting hurt at Simple Plan mosh pit.
A Simple Plan mosh pit sounds very safe and beautiful, and I would love to be a part of it. Yes.
Exactly.
Slip-on checkered Vans.
Oh, I don't think I ever owned a pair of slip-on checkered Vans. I think I own a lot of Vans, just not specifically the slip-on checkered Vans. I just like, this doesn't match anything. What are we doing? So I would say probably specifically that cut of is probably overrated. There was enough people bought those.
Okay.
Like, there was other types of Vans out there.
You know what? I love that you're like, yeah, no, I definitely indulged in emo culture and all that stuff. I was not wearing y'all's little outfits. So Christine said, no, I had on sundresses and,
it was real cute.
regular things. So thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's fair. Separate GA and VIP areas.
Oh, so like when I was like Warped Tour didn't have VIP areas as growing up, and so I remember the first time I went to a festival and there was a VIP area and I was in it because I was working. I was like, I've worked in the music industry, I've worked in major labels, stuff like that. And I remember the first time I went to a festival and I was in a VIP area, I was like, yo, what is this production value?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this separate entrance?
Yeah.
Like all these things. Like I was like, oh my god, what? As a little kid, even the thing that I always joke, I was like, I was always working, so I didn't pay for Warped Tour, but Warped Tour tickets were like $30. It wasn't like they were like. And so the first time I went to I went to a Lollapalooza and stuff like that, and I was like, what? And so yes, now that I'm an adult, I'm gonna say if there is a VIP option for a festival, I will be buying the VIP option for the festival. I don't want anyone to talk to me. I don't want to be waiting any lines.
That's fair.
Someone should have my stuff should be in a locker. Very much underrated at this point, but as a kid, never even occurred to me that was an option.
Okay, yeah, because it wasn't, TBH.
It was not.
Wearing a band T-shirt of a band you've never heard of.
Overrated or underrated? I don't know. I feel like that might be a little bit overrated. I mean, if it's a really cool design, I can see that. But if it's not a cool design, then what are we doing? Is the thing I just don't understand. Because I've seen situations where people have gotten vinyls, for example, that have a really cool cover art and stuff like that, and I'm like, cool, I get it.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't even look cool, what's the point?
What are we doing? What's the intentionality behind this?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ear gauges.
Oh. I made that deep sigh because let me tell you.
Oh, yes, a story.
The chokehold boys with ear gauges had on me when I was 17 years old. Oh, no. I have to take a moment.
No.
Oh, no. And so I would say, given that, underrated because we can always do more.
Feel you. Yeah, it can always be bigger. We can always go bigger.
There's options, yes.
Wow.
Underrated, yes.
Okay. Chipped black nail polish.
No, just
No.
just
Out.
no. Why?
Hmm.
Just no. That is yes, very much overrated. Like just
Okay.
take the nail polish off.
Last one. This is so funny. This is so funny. Like you having emo
I have opinions.
sensibilities
Let's
and
be real.
also not being on none of the bullshit. That's very funny to me. Okay,
Thank
dress
you.
shirts and loose tie with jeans.
I'll give it to you. You can have it. An effort was made.
Effort was made. You
I
tried.
will say underrated because the effort was made. If you put on the dress shirt, you get the pass. But if you put that on over your t-shirt, but why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but why have you done that?
Mm-hmm. But why have you done
Dislike.
that? Make it make sense. Can you tell us
Right.
why?
But
Thank
if you
you.
put the dress shirt on, you if there's a collar attached to it and there's a tie under that collar, then you get the pass. Go for it,
Okay.
please.
Okay, you'll take it. We'll allow it.
Yes,
It's
allowed.
very Green Day, of course. That was
Yes,
Green Day's whole
exactly.
aesthetic for sure.
Exactly.
Which band was your favorite to interview?
I had a really fun time interviewing Cobra Starship. They were always such a good time.
Oh,
Like,
did you do the dance with them ever?
I
The
never did a dance with them,
Yeah.
but Gabe was always a sweetheart. Vicky was great. Like they were such nice guys. I remember after one interview I did with them, I interviewed them maybe two or three times. So in Baltimore, where the one of the bigger I guess stadiums are, whatever, not really stadium, but the bigger venues are. There's a mall across the street, but you have to know the exact exit to take from this massive like place to get to the mall. And so I was with one of the guys, and he's like, "Hey, I need new jeans." I was like, "Cool, I'll walk you over to the mall." And we like wander around the mall, and we just like chatted and like had a good time. Like,
Hmm.
oh, that was like not my journalism part, just like taking a member of Cobra Starship to the mall.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
We ran to some fans at the mall. It was like, yeah, I always had a really great time with them. So I'm not sure if that was like my favorite, like in terms of like that was probably like the band I enjoyed interviewing most. And
Yeah.
then in terms of just like, I guess what I'll add is like the band, like if there's any band that I felt like I was like really, really like excited to interview. God, I was always excited to interview Cobra Starship as well. God, I'm gonna leave it. We're leaving it at Cobra
Okay,
Starship.
yeah, no,
We'll
Cobra
go with
Starship is a great answer. I would not have
that.
guessed that, but it totally makes sense. Like, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
based on what I know of them, that definitely makes sense.
Hmm.
Most
Yeah.
awkward interaction with a band member. Have you had any awkward interactions? Did anything funny happen?
um, y- there's one. There's one I won't say.
Okay,
But
there's a severe
there's
one.
one that I will
Okay.
say. And so very often. So if you're from the East Coast, when especially when pop punk was really big, a lot of bands would do really close together tour dates, and so it'd be like DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Wilmington, Delaware, like New Jersey, like it'd be like places that are like 70-minute drives to one another
Yes.
basically
Yeah.
for a full tour. And so all of those places would be like 2 hours in any direction from my house. So oftentimes I would just, that's how I end up going like 100 shows in a year, is because I
Got
would just go to
it.
like 3 or 4 or 5 days of a tour if there were friends on the tour, or if I was interviewing multiple bands and needed multiple days, et cetera, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember one time I interviewed Armor for Sleep. This is, we're getting into the weeds here. But I interviewed this band called Armor for Sleep. And it was me and my best friend, and I can't remember what date I interviewed them at, but the lead singer Ben had said that he really loved a certain kind of like food from Baltimore, and he hadn't gotten a chance to get it. And so the next day, I was going to that tour anyway. So me and my best friend, he went up and we knocked on the tour bus, and the guys were like, "Oh, who are you, whatever." And we're like, "Tell Ben it's the black girls from yesterday." And they were like, and you could tell he felt super uncomfortable doing this. I was like,
He was
no,
like,
I'm like, no, he will know who we are. Is the descriptor is okay?
yeah,
Please just
you
tell
can say that
him
we're
this
black.
specific thing.
We are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are black.
Yeah.
It's okay. Tell him the specific thing. He's going to know exactly what we're talking about if you say this. And so he did, and they did, and then he, et cetera, all happened. But I remember distinctly, like the like I feel like the white left his face for a moment. He's like, oh no.
He says, "You want me to say the blacks?" No, I don't want to say that. Yeah.
Yes. So that's probably one of my favorite, like, really, like, awkward experiences. I guess. I mean, it wasn't awkward for me personally, but I feel like it was probably awkward for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That yes, I love a moment when I made white folks uncomfortable by talking about my
Oh,
race or
constantly.
like and
Yeah.
saying black
Yeah.
out loud. It was like
Yep.
always a thing, but it's
Constantly.
fun for me. I don't know.
Yep. Exactly.
Was there a best piece of band merch that you've seen just at any point from maybe Warped Tour, but maybe not?
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. So there's this band called 4 Year Strong, and they had Letterman jackets.
Oh.
Let me tell you
Oh.
how deeply I wanted this Letterman jacket. I never got this Letterman
Oh.
jacket, and I wanted it so badly. It
Yeah.
was so cool.
I'm a
I think
sucker
about
for
it.
a Letterman jacket. I
Oh,
totally get that.
oh my God.
I would love.
So cool.
Yeah. It's
So
either
yeah.
Tyler the Creator or Chance the Rapper that had a Letterman jacket for one of their album releases, and I also
Mhm.
deeply wanted it. And you just reminded
Yeah.
me of it, so I'm probably gonna have to go find that.
Literally, I'm thinking right now, I'm like, I wonder at this point if it's possible for me to get that Letterman jacket. Like, now I got
Yeah,
money. I can just pay whatever.
you know, right? It's like I know I'm old now, but I'll do it anyways.
I got money now. It's
It
fine.
doesn't matter. Yeah, this is what it's here for. And then final question for you, Christine: how did you feel as a black kid in these spaces?
Oh gosh. I mean, I'm incredibly grateful for my best friend. My best friend is a black girl as well. She's a couple years older than me, and she was my big sister, basically. We always joke, when we became good friends, we would see other little black girls in the crowd, and we'd like go check on them, like, "Hey, who are you? You all right? You good?"
Yeah.
Because like there wasn't a lot of us. And so me at the time, it was really lonely. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like other than like having my best friend, it was really lonely. And if you looked on stage, like there was no one, right?
Yeah.
And like that's why there's this band I'm obsessed with now. They are called Meet Me at the Altar.
Mm-hmm.
They're
I
a
know.
black queer
I
rock band.
interviewed
Oh
them
God.
on this podcast. Yeah.
Oh, incredible. Obsessed with them. They toured with All Time Low a couple years back, or last year maybe. And I just remember when I heard that tour announcement, I was like, what I wouldn't have given when I was a kid to see black girls on
Same.
stage at a pop punk
Yeah.
concert. I it would have made my entire life.
Edith is
And
who I
so
wanted to be when I was maybe
yeah,
like 12. That is exactly
exactly.
what I wanted to be.
So cool.
Yeah.
So
Very
cool.
cool.
Um, and so like growing up, it was like, oh, that's not a possibility, that's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think another thing though is like, to be completely honest, it made me stand out.
Mm-hmm.
I was the special one in the crowd.
Yep. Yep.
Like, everybody remembered me and my best friend.
Yep.
Like,
Certainly.
so I had a really good time. I wouldn't change anything for the
Of
world.
course.
But it was definitely isolating. It was definitely lonely. Like it was the level of just like a whole different rabbit hole of just like the stuff that you saw and heard and went through
Yes.
was
Yeah.
wild. And like the music industry as a whole has gotten so much better since then. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong. I worked in the music industry almost 20 years. Not
Yeah.
perfect, but
Yeah.
it's so much better
Mm.
than what it was back then. And so I'm grateful to see like that change. But it was a wild ride, let's put it
Mm-hmm.
that way.
When I was in middle school, I've talked about this probably a number of times on this podcast, but when I was in middle school, that was the dawning of my little emo
Hmm.
phase. And I remember I went to a predominantly white middle school, of course,
Hmm.
and my teacher, a white man, of course, heard me listening to, it might have been Paramore, it might have been My Kim, I don't actually remember. And he was like, "You're so whitewashed, like you're such an Oreo." And I was like, wow, okay. And all the kids
Your
said it all
teacher?
the time, but my teacher also said it. Another teacher wrote "Stay Ghetto" in my yearbook. So, and I wasn't. I mean, like, who the fuck? What are you talking about? How are you
Right.
calling me a? This person's calling me an Oreo. This person's calling me ghetto. So yeah, like you said, the things that you hear when you
Hmm.
are the only or one of few in these
Hmm.
predominantly white spaces, especially spaces that you're quote unquote not supposed to be in,
Yep.
like this type of music or the genre, it really is wild
Oh
and
yes.
disgusting.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's yes, I'm like I'm still stuck on your teacher. How dare you?
Yeah.
Oh God. See, like I'm just thinking about all these stuff in hindsight. I'm like, the amount of times I should have been like, either between HR or the superintendent. Like, sometimes people just say things. I'm like, actually, now that I'm older, I would have been like, absolutely
You
not.
know what I
Run me my check.
mean?
Like,
Right.
run me my check.
Right.
What?
I'm
Like,
suing. I'm taking y'all for everything that you're
everybody.
worth. Okay. Loki, I'm like, maybe I'm
Everybody.
gonna go back and sue the middle school because why would you say that to me? And I have written proof of a whole bunch of
Exactly.
stuff. So why would you
Right.
say that to me?
Oh, the audacity.
Nuts.
So yes, so I feel you deeply
Yeah.
about just not fitting in. And I'd say like I found my people
Yeah.
really early on.
Mm-hmm.
My people weren't in my school all the time. They were often everywhere else. But I found people at concerts, I found my people at shows.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing. Like I think about it all the time and I had such an incredible life. Like,
Oh,
I had such a fun time growing up. Like, I wouldn't change a single thing. I just wish there was more people that look like me having a good time too.
definitely feel that. It does feel like you've had a specifically like fun and fulfilling life from a very young age. I'm impressed, just very impressed, very impressed. I think that's it for our show today. Christine, please let the folks know where they can find you online.
Yeah, so I am very, very active on LinkedIn. I am not on Instagram.
Mhm.
I run a conference called Measure of Music, and I talk a lot of shit on Twitter. That's about it. That's me.
I love that. And for those of you who want to check us out on YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/@blackpeopleloveparamore. The link will be in the show notes. If you have thoughts you'd like to share with me, you can email me at blackpeopleloveparamore@gmail.com or at me across all social media platforms at BPLP Pod. You can support the show and other wonderful Max Fun shows at maximumfun.org/join. Our editor is Jenriel Legat, and our producer is Palmira Muniz. I'm your host, Sequoia Holmes, and this has been a production of Maximum Fun.